Oh, this is great. Just what I need. Straight away, Windows is going straight into updates. Lovely. What a great start. Come on. Hey guys, Matthew here, and welcome back to another episode of Matthew Land and the Techno Man. Guys, in today's episode, finally getting OBS back up and running again for my video recording tasks. I've now been able to set up a recording system and also a virtual machine set up at the same time. So we're now able to do we can do recording and doing a virtual machine and audios at the same time. In today's episode, guys, I'm going to be starting a new video series called Windows Deployment Services, Setup, Deployment and Capturing. Now, Windows Deployment Services is WDS, and what that allows you to do, it allows you to pixie boot Windows images over the network. But there's also a piece of software out there called Mdt, which is exactly what I'm going to be using for my software. Windows Deployment Services isn't as good as what do you call it? As Mdt, but it still is functional. So we're going to actually, no, what did I say? I said Windows Deployment Services. We're actually going to be doing a Mdt task, which stands for Microsoft Deployment Toolkit, and that's what we're going to be doing today. And what I've done is I've set up a virtual machine to show you the process of what I go through. Now, my business, this is actually a business computer I'm running off. So what I'm doing is I'm actually setting up a virtual machine that will allow us to, this will be our master image that I will image to every single computer at work. And then at work, what I'll do is I will boot over the network and I will pixie boot into the system. And then finally, I will deploy this software task. So let's start. Now hopefully we don't get too much lag today because in the past I have seen there's been a few issues with the encoding. So hopefully we don't have too many issues today. Woo! Alright, yes, it comes up with the domain. Beautiful. Yeah, that's our domain. No, it's not actually. Our domain is Core Medical. This is an internal network that I'm running in my office. I have my own virtual system inside my office. I have 2 servers as well, and they're purely for my testing. So here we are, guys. We're straight bang on the desktop. And what we're going to do first off is I'm just going to check that not the task manager, I want to go into the task manager, but I don't want to go into settings. I just need to check that the system is all fully functional before we go ahead. Otherwise, I'll switch screen recording programs. Oh, it still hasn't finished the deployment task. Oh my gosh. Now, this is exactly what Windows Deployment Services does. It's called Mdt. And as you can see, it comes up with this little box that says IT organization running the light touch installation. That's exactly what it's called. You know what? You can shut up, Cortana. This here is a system, this is a Mdt Task Sequence. And what I've done is I've selected a task from that server, the whole system runs on a server. And on that server, what I've done is I've deployed Windows 10. And I've told certain settings, for instance, does it want to be on the domain controller? Does it not? Does it want to have this software or not this software or anything like that? And as you can see, the operating system deployed let me start that again. The operating system deployment completed successfully. The computer is now ready to use. And as you can see, we have no errors. And that's what I like. So we're going to hit finish. So we now have a fully functioning system. And what we're going to do is we're going to, oh wow, the CPU's in real big trouble. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this system ready for the clients to use at work. Sorry, not the clients, the staff at my work. And what we're going to do is we are going to deploy our software that we use, so like Chrome, LibreOffice, and other things like that. And we're also going to remove all these Windows 10 apps because all these apps here, because I've discovered in the past that this bogs down the whole entire system, and it takes like about 7 minutes for a user to log in once we've initiated the apps. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a PowerShell script that's commonly used for Windows 10 deployment, and we are then going to completely, we're going to completely remove the system. We're going to completely remove all the apps of Windows, and then what we'll have there is we'll have a system that is ready for us that we want to use. So let's get started then. First off, we have a special system on our NAS. We have a Synology NAS, which is about 40 terabytes. And through that, we have a server called MPAL server. Some of you guys might have seen this in my tutorials. That's because I can access this. Our server can be accessed from anywhere around the world through a VPN. And as you can see, we can access it. So we have in our folder, we have a folder called Pool Solutions, because that's the company that I technically work for inside the organization. It's very complicated. IT department, deployment, and as you can see, we're going to use this folder and we're going to put in this, all of this software here is what we're going to be using, and we're also going to be changing our background image and things like that. So what we'll do, first thing I'm going to do right up straight away is copy this folder to the desktop. That way it makes it easier for us to work off it locally. And just to help with this, I will be speeding up the video just to show you, just to make it easier for the process of the video. And I don't want it going too long, because the reason I have to upload so many short videos is because of my ISP. I only get about 3 megs up, and it slows our internet down completely. So I have to be at home on my own doing this, or at work doing this. So that's why the videos are so short. It's because of the upload, and it takes like 4 hours to upload like a 3-minute video. So I have to leave a computer on all night to upload a video. So that's why the videos are so short. So let's give it a go, and from now on we're going to time lapse this. And there's a really good song that I'm going to be using. I can't remember what I called it, but I love the song. Yeah, I know, that's funny. So I'm just going to put some music on, and hopefully you guys can just sit back, have a nice cup of coffee or tea or whatever you drink, and watch how I do this. Because if you are going into the career of systems administration, it's very, very useful to know this stuff, because you never know when you're going to have to deploy software. You never know when you're going to have to fix up a network glitch. You just never know what you're going to do. So without further ado, I'm going to install the software. You sit back, relax, and hopefully you guys should... Oh, hang on a second, let me just do that. Hopefully you guys will be able to watch what we're doing, and hopefully a few things like that. And yeah, alright, sit back, relax, and let's do this. Okay guys, so after about, it says 24 minutes on here, we've finally got all our software installed, and it took a lot it was a lot quicker than I did it with Windows 7. It took about 3 hours to do, so I didn't bother uploading it. So let me explain what each application's for. KeyPass is very important for us because most of us need to share our passwords because when working on other servers remotely, we need to get their passwords and we put it in our database. Everyone has access to a KeyPass file that everyone will work off, so that way we can, because I know for a fact that I had to log into a system that was in Sydney, and we had a user account set up, but we had different passwords and all kinds of things like that, all goes into KeyPass. VirtualBox, our employees now are actually starting to get used to doing their development testing inside of virtual machines. CPU-Z is CPU hardware monitor is purely just used to monitor the health of our systems. We recently chucked out a ton because they were overheating and they were just falling behind. LibreOffice is our Office alternative. We don't use Office anymore. We used to, but we just found it too. It was just bogging our systems down too much. Even though when I say this is going to be incredible, they're Core i9 systems with 32 gigs of RAM in them and a 1 terabyte M.2 drive. Okay, you might be thinking, why the heck can't we use Office and things like that? It's also the fact is we like using open source software as well. We're not a big fan of, paying for software. Now, as you can see here, I have gone ahead and used 2 PowerShell commands, and that has removed a whole entire ton. I mean, a ton of apps. I mean, the accessories we're going to keep because people use that. All we're going to do now is we're just going to set up our start menu icons. So if I just make a folder called start menu folders, if I could spell today. And what we're going to do, all of these icons here, we're going to need. So we'll move them into here. Move it there. We're also going to need remote desktop connection. So we're going to make a new shortcut. Now, because I know some of these, we don't have to MSTSC. That means Microsoft Remote Desktop. And that should... bring up bingo, as I said. Ta-da! Works great. That's our first command. Next thing I need is our Remote Desktop Manager. So we're going to go more. We're going to go open file location. I'm going to copy that because, can you see it's a shortcut? So I'm just going to copy it and we're going to paste it. There's a shortcut. Last final thing we're going to need is we use another piece of software called Remote Desktop Connection Manager. We don't use it as much, but we do tend to use it because, well, oh wait, I just ran that as administrator. Whoops. We use this piece of software so in the event that our main Remote Desktop Manager fails, we can still use this one as our backup. Not as good, but still works very well, and we would still use it personally if we didn't find anything else that we wanted. So, as you can see, that is the location, and I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to now paste it. And as you can see, these are all of our icons for the desktop. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a folder in the C drive. C, users, public, and then desktop. This is where all the icons are stored for the desktop. So any user that logs on to the system will have these icons on the desktop. Now what we can finally do as well is, because we've finished it, we're just going to do 2 more things. We're going to set up the background, the lock screen, actually no, we're not going to do that. We we here we used to set up a policy where we had the background as our company logo, but we no longer do that because we just found it was having problems with group policy and things like that. So here we have one fully functioning system. We're going to now empty the recycle bin. This system is completely ready and deployed, apart from Spybot anti-beacon, but we no longer use that because, well, just why not the heck for it. Actually, you know, we might just quickly install that, but we don't want users touching it because certain things that are set up for certain reasons, and that's why you tend to, there we go, Spybot anti-beacon. We tend to have users do indecisive choices because unfortunately I had a hell of a weekend a few weeks ago trying to re-sort out my whole entire network infrastructure because someone did a stupid little silly mistake that infected completely stuffed up all the network. God. Okay, so my microphone just died there, but what I was trying to say was what usually happens is someone stuffed up our network, and what happened there was they stuffed up the actual networking configuration in here, and what happened is that we had to re-image every single computer that we had. So we're just not going to use web search group policy Cortana. We will use the OneDrive service because people do use OneDrive. We hate Bing for a passion, all of us do. Office, we will just immunize those as well. And we're done. Okay, all installed. I just don't want users seeing that on the desktop, which is why we haven't put it in the public desktop folder. Now, to capture this is where MDT comes in. We have a folder, a server called the Windows Deployment Services server. And that server has a special folder on it called the deployment share. But you might be wondering, where is it? Well, great question. Well, it is actually a hidden folder with the $sign there. Can you see that $sign is what actually hides the folder? We're going to go to a folder inside of there called scripts and look for a program called Light Touch. This is what will execute and capture our images. Very good. And just to mention, none of these scripts were made by me because all my friends are going to be like, oh, you made these scripts. You know who you are. People. Especially you, Isaac. You probably know what I'm doing. He's going to be like at school tomorrow and saying, I knew that. Probably not. Never mind. Anyway. So, MDT is now loading. Oh! Done that first part. Now what we're going to do is we are going to deploy out through the Windows Deployment Services server, gone to the folder, and we're in. Now as you guys can see, we have a lot of task sequences on our network server. But what we're going to be focusing on is capture Windows 10 Pro, because this machine is Windows 10 Pro. We're going to go next. Put in the administrator password. This is to log into the share. This is for the administrator account. That when we deploy it to the domain, we still have a local administrator account, because if we have to do local administration, not domain administration, then that's what we do. We're going to call this Capture 10 Pro because, well, why not? And that's what we set it up as default. Credentials, we're going to do administrator, rater, password, which we set up. And then finally putting in the domain. And then we push the magic button. We just got to, finally, it won't actually go ahead until it says, are you ready to do the following changes? Are you ready to lose this? Now that's what I need to mention as well. This software, Windows Deployment Services, I need to mention something. When you use this software, it will completely wipe the hard drive and reinstall the operating system from scratch. That's where you deploy it again. What we're going to be doing is capturing Windows 10 Pro with the administrative password that we set. We're going to do a capture, and it's going to be located here, here, here in the captures folders directly. We're going to the actual file name is called Capture Windows 10 Pro, administrator, password, and the user domain. I'm happy with that. Begin. And I need to mention one thing. Please make sure you do not touch the computer when it's imaging or capturing, because in the past I have seen that the computer will actually fail to capture if you open up the internet, look at the hard drive, anything like that. Do not touch or even move the mouse like this. Because what that will do is it will have a stubborn glitch where even if you move it the slightest bit, it will fail, because there's a piece of software in Windows called SysPrep. Some of you might be aware of it. But sysprep will capture every single file on Windows, compress it, and make it one big WIM file. As you can see with, okay, hang on, let me just do this. As you can see here, with the system reserve drive, it's now made a portable drive. And the reason it's done that is because it's sysprepping and making it all removable storage. As you can see, it's executing sysprep. It's going to load a little Windows box that looks a little like, I should be able to do this, don't do this in the future, but it will look like this. And as you can see, the reason I've now lost this mouse is because I'm actually no longer in the virtual machine. It's now going to capture it, reboot, and capture it as an image. And once it's doing that, the next episode will be called deploying the actual operating system. So first off, this is capturing it and making your first image. And then the next one will be deploying your image. Later on the track, if we get 100 likes, I will show you how to set up the deployment server quicker than expected. That means instead of having it on March, we'll actually have it somewhere in February. So if we hit 100 likes before March, I will release it 3 weeks earlier. Well, actually, my maths is off, but I will release it sooner than anticipated, because it's actually quite a lot of fun to work out and do. And also, if you're really looking forward to this, hit that like button and do subscribe if you're looking forward to how to make a domain controller, because it's actually quite complicated. But once you watch this video over and over again, you'll get the hang of it. So yes, pretty much now we're just going to wait for that to sysprep, and then it should reboot, and then we'll come back once it's done that. Good old fancy time lapse, here we go. Okay, guys, so just going through my channel recently, I don't actually frickin' believe it. Thank you guys for nearly 1,000 views on my YouTube channel. And honestly, right now, this has just brought tears to my eyes. I thought I would never be getting this close with YouTube, and I'm so happy, and I would not be here if it wasn't for you guys and helping me, support me. And yes, please do not try and consider me with very online bullying with WTF, because you do realize, right, I can click one button. And sure, you might be an idiot at the end of the day, but too bad. I can literally just click a little button that says that you're harassing me or someone else, and you're in big trouble. It's important to understand that YouTube community is very bad sometimes when it comes to verbal language. I'm fine with it, because at the end of the day, I don't know who they are and why the heck they are doing that. And at the end of the day, these videos are posts. I don't care what people think about them. It's really just one little click of a button, and that's that. But also the fact is as well that I can, literally go ahead, report them, and the best thing about it as well, even if it does get worse, I can go to the police about it. But I'm not going that far. And the best thing about it, these videos that I publish, well, they're actually supposed to be not my good work, because my good work would be actually having tons and tons of watermarks all over them and audio copies and all kinds of things like that. So this is my literally rad videos that I'm doing, but hopefully they're not too bad that they will explain things. Oh yeah, and you do realize right now that I'm on Steam, because I've actually done a window capture in OBS. It's quite clever how I've done it, but I'll show you what I've done here. Actually, no, I won't. I'll do that another time. But what I have been doing is I have a very exciting thing that will be happening very soon, and I hope you guys will be looking forward to it. But I'm actually going to be streaming very soon, again, another very exciting project. I'm going to be at work for this project, and I'm actually going to be building a Core i9 system with 32 gigs of RAM and a 1TB M.2 drive with 2 NVIDIA GeForce GTX Titan XPs. Yes, you will not believe how much that costed, and now my bank is literally completely gone. So, oh well. Anyway, thank you guys once again for nearly 1,000 views, and if we hit 1,000 views, I honestly will seriously be doing an amazing video that says thank you for all of your hard work and things like that. You guys can also send me an instant message as well through YouTube. You can just send a message to me and say things, and I'm happy to reply back to any help that you guys need, or if there's something that you guys feel like I'm doing, please let me know straight away through my email address that will be in for business inquiries. Thank you guys once again. Hope you finished watching this time lapse, because it's taking forever. I don't know why. But anyway, the next video that will be coming up though, will actually be deploying this OS. And what we'll do from there is I'll set up another virtual machine, but on a separate computer. That way, it's like actually realistically that I'm not doing it on a desktop, and we'll film at a different angle and a different perspective. But I'm shocked right now that I've nearly got 1,000 views. So thank you for all your hard work. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Well, I'll catch you probably at the end of this video, but just to mention, a huge thank you once again, guys. Now, if I can remember how to mute OBS.